What's better for rock hounding? The creek? The beach? I'm kind of leaning toward the creek right now. I'll show you what I found, and you can tell me what you think. Or maybe it's the field, after all, that's better than either one of them. Tell me what you think.
Well, that's a big, beautiful piece of quartz. Boy, if there was any jasper in that, you'd say it was a puddingstone. Very nice. Lots of really interesting glacial till that's eroded out of this bank here. Here we've got something. Nice little piece of banded chert. That's pretty nice. I don't know if you can see that peeking out from those leaves or not. Kind of cool. Not that I need it, but it looks like a Petoskey. Okay, about 3 feet from that little Petoskey that I picked up, I found this. So this is an area that has some coral in it. Still standing in the same spot. I love these crinoids that look like sprockets. They crack me up. And then in the same spot here, yeah, it looks like a very degraded piece of horn coral. Interesting though. Very interesting. So I haven't even pivoted. All I've done is pivot. And I see these things. Brachiopod. Back there in the shade, I picked up a few more pieces that I thought looked interesting. Another piece of banded chert. And this one, I think it's more along the line of banded slate, but I like it. And then we've got this one, which is very fossilicious, but I don't know. Just doesn't look interesting enough to take home. Okay, I just decided to tunnel my way in here. And what do you think about this? You know, that looks like fabicite to me. It's a pretty big piece.
Well, that was in Eagle Creek, which is in central Indiana. And then my wife and I took the grandkids over to do a little hiking around Sugar Creek, which is on the western side of Indiana. And we stopped off at this little gravel bar there in the creek and took a look for a few minutes. And wow, the kids started picking up all kinds of fossils. It was a lot of fun. You know what? I thought that I would have to go up to Lake Huron in order to find a really nice puddingstone, but that's not true. The glaciers brought them right to me. And I found quite a few nice things right there in Sugar Creek, including one nice puddingstone. Take a look. What can you expect to find in the creek that you can't find on the beach? Well, one thing that you find in the creek is a lot more detail because the details haven't been ground down by the shifting sands. Indiana is known for geodes, and this is one thing that you can definitely find in the creeks in Indiana.
This is a nice little brachiopod, still stuck in the matrix. Kind of wish it was out of the matrix. Beauty here. I decided, okay, that's jasper, but the more I got to looking at it, the more I realized that there is some banding in this. Very hard to see, but in one place in particular. So this will be cut up and put into the tumbler. And here's a little Petoskey that I found in the creek. The thing I'm most intrigued with, though, is the backside, because I don't usually see some formation like that. So that is actually pretty interesting. Now, I love the sprocket crinoids. They are gorgeous. So the thing that makes this unusual, though, is these little stems, all right, that in a beach, those would be worn off. And I think what those are is a bit of the holdfast that holds the crinoid to the floor of the ocean, the sea, the lake, or whatever. A stroma, short for, anyway, that's a stroma, put it that way. That is a stroma. It's an ancient sponge. This gnarly little fossil is so interesting because of the veins. It almost looks like the veins on a neck of some horror film creature. And I don't have a definite ID on this, but now if I was to guess, I would say crinoid that's smashed a little bit, horn coral. All the little septa, the details on the side. An amazing little fossil, and man, you find that in a lake somewhere with wave action, that's definitely going to be worn down. This also is some kind of a coral. I'm not going to say exactly which one. I probably have to sand it down a little bit to see a little bit more of the pattern, but I do see a pattern there. Another nice piece of banded chert. I like these pieces of banded shale. They actually turn out pretty good in the tumbler as well. So pretty nice. Grandkids call that an Oreo fossil. In the video I called this a favicite, but I believe it's a Syringapora. The biggest one I've found and the nicest one, so I'll probably hang on to this. And not even last is this little puddingstone, and I don't ordinarily expect to find a puddingstone everywhere in Indiana, but I find them in fields and I find them in streams, and I used to think I'd have to go to Lake Huron in order to get a puddingstone, but not so. The glaciers brought them to me. So this has the jasper, it also has the black chert, and it also has the bits of quartz in it. So finally, this to me is almost something. It's pear-shaped. It's sharp. There's fracturing, concordial fracturing that looks like it was intentional. However, while it could be picked up and used as a tool just like it is right here, it lacks the additional chipping away that would make it a sure thing for an artifact. So I call this an almost something. Thanks for watching.